broadcast this live on their Facebooks. This is Diamond Dallas Page and Boss Rutan, of course. Addition, we're occurring live on the Hannibal TV at YouTube. So we expect to have a great audience out there. Our two amazing producers, John Paz from the Two-Man Power Trip and Rachel Sartoris, will be looking for comments and questions, and they'll be letting us know on occasion what some of your comments and questions are. And I'm sure Boss and Dallas Page will be happy to address those for you. All right, let's get to my guests. One more thing about me. I always love talking about me. I had a great day today, and part of that was my workout. Two things I'm really, really happy that I did today and feel so good about is I did my DDPY workout off the DDPY app, which I love. It's an amazing integrated app. Everybody should take a look at that, DDPY. I also very blessedly received Boss Rutan's O2 trainer a couple of weeks ago, and it's absolutely changed my breathing. My lungs are compromised. I've had about 70% cut out from the lung cancer I used to have. I'm years past it, but I've not breathed right for many years. So today I've done DDPY, I've done Boss Rutan's O2 trainer, and I feel great and ready for this podcast. Before I bring my guests on, please stay tuned afterwards. John Paz and the Hannibal will both be on with me. We'll be deconstructing this conversation a little bit, previewing what's coming up. And so all that aside, so I feel like my two guests today for the MMA and pro wrestling worlds that most of us live in, I mean, they're like the Al Pacino, Robert De Niro of that world, or the Mick Jagger, Paul McCartney of the rock and roll world. So who would introduce first? I guess we go in alphabetical order. It's the only way to do it. Two absolute certifiable legends. First, my longtime friend, the WWE Hall of Famer and the iconic Diamond Dallas Page.
What's up, baby? What's up?
Hey, Dallas, good to see you, man. And the equally legendary UFC Hall of Famer, another good friend, I'm happy to say, Mr. Boss Rutan.
Boom! Look at that.
Hey.
That's where we are.
Man, and it's all working so far. You know, I always say that we can send men to the moon and soon Mars, apparently, but it's tough sometimes getting this to work. So thank you, John and Rachel, behind the scenes making it work. Thank you guys for being here. Dallas, how you doing, man?
Man, I know it's all COVID. I kicked out. I got the COVID with my girl. I kicked out of it, and everything's been going great since then. That did kick my ass for a couple of weeks, but I got the free radicals, so I'm doing fucking amazing.
That's killer. Boss, how are you, my friend?
Doing good, my friend. Nothing exciting here. Nobody had COVID with us. Maybe we might have had it in the beginning. My wife was sick for like 8 days, really heavy sick. I go really fast. I was really sick one night. I was like with my clothes shivering in the bed, and the next day it was gone. So that might have been COVID because I just recouped really fast. So hopefully we had it. So now we got antibodies.
Yeah. Rick, let me throw something in, Rick. Boss, you might have had it, and because everyone I talk to, it's completely different. My girlfriend, she's a lot younger than me. She got sick bad, freezing. I put heating plans under her. Then she'd get 103 fever. Then I put ice on her, and I'd probably get hit by a truck. But I start to kick out. Then it was knocking back down. So, man, from what I've heard, there's so many different ways. You might already have it, dude. Might have already had it.
Yeah, you know, Dallas, that was my experience too. I'm pretty sure I had it for about a week and a half, but it never got too bad. And now it's gone. I feel great, largely thanks to you guys. And we're going to talk a lot about your fitness and lifestyle systems today. What I want to get on for a second is this. You know, I asked how you guys are doing. I know because I'm blessed to be able to talk to you guys from time to time, so I've kept up with you. One thing that always, you guys are so different. But one thing that's always struck me as a similarity between the two of you guys is no matter what's going on in your lives and no matter what's going on in the world around you, I've never known either one of you guys to be anything but 100% positive. And I very much look up to both of you. You're motivators. You live your lives in a way that we all wish we could and are aspiring to. So what I really want to get into today is how do you maintain, especially in this time when not everybody, so many people are bummed out, so many people are crying the blues. Hey, Dallas, what do you tell people out there that get on the phone or you see in person and they just are sad or start to complain or whatever it may be?
I do that Cameo stuff, and probably 80% of the requests I get are people who do my program or fell off the wagon, or they want some kind of pep talk. And I just do what I do. I tell people, you want to get over being depressed, help somebody. And I know that sounds really simple, but if you help somebody, and like it took 8 years for DDY to become an overnight success. I helped so many people along that way. It didn't make a dime, and it's always like, any of the responses that I've gotten back from the reviews from my talks to those people on Cameo, man, they make me feel amazing because I made them feel good and gave them I really focus on the repetitions of affirmations, what the story is I tell myself. And everybody goes down. Me personally, I don't stay down. I go down and I try to come back up again, and if you look at The Rock, Trump, Obama, Oprah, LeBron James, Tom Brady, they all go down. They just don't stay down. And it comes down to the story you tell yourself. And that's what I really preach to people.
I want to seize on that for a moment, especially the part when you say go help somebody. So there'll be people out there that will be watching this and they'll go, well, Diamond Dallas Page, that's easy for you to say because you're this huge success. You can do whatever you want. You got the resources. But I know it wasn't always that way for you.
Right.
And, I myself, not long ago, was in about, circumstantially at least, as low as you possibly could go. And I realized something at that point in time. You always have the ability to help somebody. And whether it's by making a decision to be really nice to the next 5 people you come across in any random encounter, or looking for somebody on Facebook that's publishing, their woes and reaching out and just lending an ear. So I love that advice. I think that's the best advice anybody can hear. So thank you for that.
I love that. Yes, me too.
Now, boss, I've known you for a long time now. Thankfully, it's been always awesome being friends with you. And even though I was at your wedding, we've done some traveling together, I feel like I know you pretty well. Like we're friends. I can honestly say I have never seen you down or negative about anything. Is that how you always are?
I learned a line that I always used to live by because I was a very sick kid. I had a horrible skin disease. So I was the leper in school. I was the outcast. Nobody wanted to play with me. I had severe asthma attacks, weak in bed, not able to eat. So I was always the guest who was out there. They said, how can you be so positive? I said, well, I had the eczema very prominent on my hands and my arms and my face. But I knew there were guys out there who had the same what I had on my hands and in my face from head to toe. And the asthma attack that I had for a week or 8 days in bed, every 6 weeks, 5 weeks or so, I knew there were guys out there who had it 365 days a year who actually had to move to Switzerland or to the Alps, to get the free air there. So there is always, whatever problem you have, there's always somebody who has it worse than you. And that's something that I always live by, and then on top of everything else, it's like, what is being negative going to do for you? If it would have helped me, I would have been negative, trust me. But you know what it does? It actually does the complete opposite. You dig a hole and you go deeper and deeper and deeper. Staying positive, that's very important. I was one moment in my life, it was after my last fight in 2006. I did a fight for 7 years. I decided to take another fight on. I won the fight, but then like a month after that, and I don't know where it came from, I got depressed. And that was the first time in my life I had a depression. And that went on for 6 weeks, 8 weeks, and I was I was thinking suicide. I was thinking, literally, I'm thinking, what if I would drive my car against this tree? I go, what the heck am I thinking? And the way I got out of that, I said, come on, you're not that person. And I start writing down all the positive things in my life and all the negative things. And then you realize that the positive list is way longer than the negative list. And then you can easily get it out of it. And then suddenly it disappeared. Like it came, it disappeared. When I see these commercials on TV with people who are depressed and sitting there, in the beginning I would say, come on, man, be happy. But I'm telling you, that was a very scary situation for me because I've never been there. Like you said, I've never been down in my life. And suddenly it got me. And thankfully it got out of it. But I feel for people like that. It's not like, oh, just smile. I hate it when people say that now to people who are depressed. Or just think good thoughts.
So hard.
Yeah. Makes it so easy.
I know that
Well,
you guys are preachers. You live by example. But I want to ask you, boss, as we would say in the pro wrestling world, to cut like a 30-second promo, both of you, preaching at the person. Let's get really extreme. Somebody somehow is watching this, but they're homeless, they're medically challenged, they're in pain, they have no resources. What do?
Well,
Go ahead, Bosh.
Every person 6 feet under will trade places with you in a second. If they have the chance, whatever problem you have, they will trade places with you in a freaking heartbeat. And just think about that. Life, it's very interesting. Yes, we get in all kinds of troubles, but you can dig yourself out again. That's the thing about forgiving, and own up whatever. If you did something wrong, own it, and just make amends. And that's the only way to get out of it. Trying to hide it and staying away from it never works.
I go to my favorite quote of all time. My favorite quote is, the repetitions of affirmations leads to belief. And once that belief becomes a deep conviction, things begin to happen. You guys know who said that quote?
No.
I do, but maybe you could get.
But because you heard me say it before. This is what he said. The guy who said that repetitions of affirmations, let's break it down first. The repetitions of affirmations can be really positive, but they can be really negative too. People who don't have any self-worth, people don't think they deserve it. People who look down on themselves, people who think of themselves as a piece of shit. And those people are everywhere. And what I try to do is change that story. Like when I went to get my Hall of Fame induction, I could have been in my head thinking, what was I thinking? I wrote a 27-minute speech. They got me up first. What if I forget where I am? What if my iPad freezes? What if I bomb? And I could have been in my head, but that wasn't the story. The story I was telling myself was, this is going to be the greatest day of my life in professional wrestling. I'm going to blow everyone away. I'm going to make them laugh. I'm going to make them cry. I'm going to inspire them. And I went out there, it was the best thing I've ever done in professional wrestling. So that repetition of affirmations leads to belief. And once that belief becomes a deep conviction, things begin to happen. Now, the guy who said that, this is his affirmation. I am the greatest. I'm the greatest of all time. Everybody knows who that is.
Yeah.
Floats like a butterfly, stings like a bee. Nobody else but Muhammad Ali. But you knew as soon as you heard, I am the greatest. I am the greatest of all time. Like, the only reason we know that is because he just didn't say it to himself. He said it to everybody. And that's why I believe everything I've ever tried to do, I tell everybody about it right when I started, because I have to see it. When I told these two guys right back here, Jimmy Jam Garvin and Michael P.S. Hayes, that they wouldn't let me be a manager anymore in WCW. I had 7 months left of my contract. And when Magnum TA told me that I couldn't be a manager anymore, I was like, thanks. What did I do wrong? I go, I'll fix it. He goes, you didn't really do anything wrong. I'm like, well, why can't I do it? He goes, the hair, the clothes, the bling, this guy, like, he's too much. I said, you tell me I'm too over the top for professional wrestling, and he goes, like I said, it's not your fault. It's just as a manager, you can't overshadow the boys. He said, what we should have done was put a pair of tights and boots on you and see if you could do this. Boss, I was 35 and a half at the time. I had 7 months left on my contract. I said, fuck this. I never got in this business to be a manager or a color commentator. I got in the business to be one of the boys. And I went down and I trained. They beat the hell out of me. And it ain't your sport where you really get your ass beat. But when you're coming in, there's no time for mistakes. And you screw up a spot, you're going to get your head kicked off. And, you know, I can tell you how many times I hit that mat in the beginning. And I thought to myself, this fake shit hurts like hell. You know? So no one believed in me starting, but I did. And no one else had to. I tell people all the time, never underestimate the power you give yourself by believing in you. And boss, coming up the way you did, I know you think the exact same way.
Yeah, but you know what? It's like I did some pro wrestling in Japan, right? For New Japan, and I had in 3 fights. The first one, I broke a disc in my back, cracked the disc in my back. The second, I ruptured an eyeball, and the third, I ruptured my eardrum, which I couldn't fix because you can't fly for 2 weeks. And at that time, I was flying every month to Japan, so there was no way I could fix it. My wife actually told me when I came back. She said, "Why don't you go back to real fighting? You never had these injuries." So people also that don't seem to understand this, right? You guys do over 200 shows a year, and you fall every single day. The falls are real. Everything is real. The chairs are real. Everything you get hit with, over 200 times, many times more even a year. Trust me, you guys are way tougher than I always think. A lot.
Stop it. Boss, I don't know if you remember this, but we were on your show, I think it was Main Event Live on ESPN.
Yep.
And people were sending in questions. And someone on Facebook said, DDP, if knowing how popular Ultimate Fighting is right now, MMA is, do you think if you would have been younger and you wanted to come in, would you have gone more towards the UFC, mixed martial arts, or would you have stayed in professional wrestling? And I said, well, unless you've got a serious pedigree in wrestling or jiu-jitsu, like, you should never think of stepping in that ring with any of these guys. And boss, when you put your arms up, you went, oh, you're the first guy that answered that truthfully. True. I can't imagine it. I'm an actor. I'm a tough guy, but I'm an actor.
I love it.
Yeah, guys, that's one thing I admire so much about the both of you, because I've been around both sports for so long now that I feel like I got a pretty solid understanding of them. They're both brutal. And look, boss, you've been out for a few years now, being active as a fighter. Dallas, you as a wrestler. How many guys do you know? It's kind of a rhetorical question. How many guys do you know that are a few years past retirement and are as healthy as you guys and enjoying life as much as you guys? Because those sports take a toll, and man, you guys have transcended it. There's not really a question in there. It's more of like, kudos to you guys, man. It's pretty amazing.
Just taking care of yourself, it's really it. If I see all my peers and, they need surgery here and do this, and you see they are not living healthy. When we're young, we're crazy guys, we party like crazy because we go all in on everything. So that means in fighting, I go all in. But, oh, babe, after the fight, I go all in on partying, And these guys, once you take the fighting away and you keep going with the partying, you're crushing yourself. I had the reason I took that fight in 2006 was because I was an alcoholic. I started drinking more and more and more and more. And then suddenly they came up and they said, hey, do you want to fight again? I said, I don't know. Give me 2 weeks to train to see if my injuries are there. And I trained for 2 weeks. And I go, yeah, I'll do it. And my wife goes, are you crazy? You didn't do anything for 7 years. I go, yeah, but you know what? It's going to stop me drinking because there's no way I can drink and I train, and it worked. That's why I took the fight. Also for the money, of course, because it was the biggest payday I ever had, because my biggest payday was $55,000 in the UFC, which at that time for a single fight was a lot because $60,000
That it was.
Right. right? So for me, that was good. But this was 225. I go like, whoa, I can't, and that's why I have a pool now, because I always wanted to pool. And I said, I'll take the fight. But the main reason was me to stop drinking.
Yeah,
Smart.
I remember that well. You're talking about the Warpath fight that was supposed to be chemo, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember that well, because that's when you and I really were spending some time together, like that deal in Florida, that crazy party we went to, and other things like that.
Yeah.
And then the fight came up, and you were supposed to fight Chemo, of course, and Chemo couldn't get passed through the commission. So I actually ended up bringing your opponent. I cornered opposite you that fight, boss. Nothing personal, of course. I remember thinking, this guy, I remember the condition you were in just a few short weeks before, thinking this guy is a freaking animal machine, man. Because you looked like the old Boss Rutten when you got in the ring that day. It was amazing.
Yeah, I felt really good. The only thing is all my injuries came back, and that's why, because everybody I was training with, I was training with the guys, like top guys, and everybody goes like, dude, you got a new career. I go, yeah, this is crazy, right? Everything is coming back. So I felt great, and then suddenly the first injury came, and the second, and now everything that I had, and then some, they all came back. I spent $12,000 on therapy before that fight. So if that fight, when Chemo pulled out, I go, holy crap, because I had no money, and I had no TV show. There was nothing that I had at the time. And I go, oh man, I'm completely screwed. I don't have any money now. And I'm at 12,000 in the hole. So thankfully, Warpath stepped up and he took the fight, because all the guys, like Dan Abbott and all these guys that say, oh, I want to fight him.
Yeah.
Well, we offered them after Chemo, but of course, nobody wants to take the fight. Now suddenly it was thankfully Warpath.
Everybody was running.
He saved my fight. He's a good guy.
Warpath, if you're out there, hey, yeah, he's an awesome guy. Warpath's an amazing dude. So, boss, I want to go back to set you up for that 30-second promo for people that are out there. I want to give you guys a quick example or story. You both know I'm really into the pit bulls in the pit bull rescue world, and I get a lot of messages, and it's always the same. Oh, I love my dog more than anything, but I need to give him up because. And then there's usually, this sounds judgmental, I apologize, it's some usually half-assed excuse. Oh, I'm moving, or I got a new job. And I want to go, you shouldn't have got a fucking dog in the first place then, right? So I try not to go there, but I do. I take it personally. I got a message a couple of weeks ago through a mutual friend, a girl named Sadist, who was a UPW wrestler, saying a friend of mine needs to rehome her 2 pit bulls. Well, it was my friend, so I got on the phone with the girl. This girl's homeless. She still is today while we're talking. She is on her 14th spinal surgery coming up. And
oh my God,
this girl is in bad shape. And I started looking at her posts online and talked to her, and she is all about, here is what I am doing to improve my situation in life. Here is what I am doing to look at my situation in a way where I can help myself and help others. So I'm like, wow, I want to help this girl. And what I want to point out, anybody out there listening, in my experience, if you help yourself, people will want to help you. So go the positive route, please. And boss, what would you tell people?
Well, you put yourself in the number one spot, because you already said it. Like people say, who do you fight for? I say, for me. Oh, you don't fight for your family? No, that brings too much pressure on me. If I fight for me and I don't give a crap what other people say, then I fight the best, because I don't have any pressure, because I just fight the best I can be, and I don't have to, I have to win, because otherwise I don't win more money and I know my family's beat. No, forget about that. And forget about what people say. It starts with you. You need to have an ego, because once you're healthy, that's when you can help other people. And the thing that is, I don't want to go too completely crazy on it, but the Bible, right? Matthew, what is it? Matthew 5:1-7. That was the first time I heard. It's like, hey, why do you try to pull out the little speck in your brother's eye while you have a beam in your own eye? Why don't you get rid of your own beam first so you can see clearly, and then you can remove the speck from your brother's eye? Now that is how we all are. We all tell people, oh, you shouldn't drink, and at night we're drinking. Or it's also easy to say, but nobody lives by it. So once I read that, I go, whoa. That's a big quote. So that's what I'm doing nowadays. It starts with you. You need to be healthy, because if you're healthy, you can help people. And that's my rule, I guess.
That's awesome. And it brings me to, I want to go into what you guys are doing professionally. I know you're both doing a ton of things, but I want to talk about particularly the things I got to personally take advantage of today, which are the programs you have both developed and which are like inspiring and improving the lives of so many people. So, Boss, you have the Bas Rutten O2 trainer. Can you really quickly explain to those who may not know what it is?
It's an invention I came up with.
I want to know what it is.
Oh, you got to get one of these, Dallas. It's crazy.
Yeah, it's like the stuff. I knew it was good because it cured me from my asthma within 3 weeks. Then my buddy from Holland cured him in his asthma for 8 days. He's selling them in Europe right now. Right away, he called me and said, I want to sell them. And now I have pulmonologists buying it, and now and they get it from the insurance. So now it's getting traction because people know it's not a gimmick. It looks very simple, but I always say so is a weight. A weight looks simple, but it can transform your body. That's the same. This is weight training for your breathing muscles. People go, breathing muscles. I go, yeah, because your lungs, guess what? There's not one muscle in your lung, zero. So your lungs are just two bags hanging there. If your body cannot expand, then you cannot open up your lungs. So the muscles to open up is your diaphragm, and it's the outer intercostal muscles, which are the muscles in between your rib cage. That's how you expand your chest. And the more you expand your chest, the easier for you is to fill up your lungs. And now everybody breathes shallow, only on top. That's why if you see lung disease and you ask any pulmonologist, if they look at a lung and they show this is where all the diseases are. It's like 75% on top. Everything's on the top, above 75%, because nobody breathes like they're supposed to breathe. This training device will force you to breathe the correct way. And by the way, if say nobody knows how to, 95% of the people breathe wrong. Those are tests are done 95% of the people, because it takes more pressure for you, like 8 to 12 pounds to open up on the bottom and only 1 to 3 pounds on the top. So everybody's breathing shallow. That's why people with anxiety, they get, that's why it's helping so good for people with anxiety, because I'm training those muscles, those 12 pounds of breathing muscles. That average body has 10 pounds of breathing muscles. So if you're already a big guy, you have more. But those muscles you cannot work out. So you can train whatever you want to do. Once you get tired, your muscles, the breathing muscles need oxygen. It pulls it away from your limbs and they go to your breathing muscles. That's what gassing is. You will hear any pulmonologist say that. Gassing, that feeling is oxygenated blood leaving your limbs go to support your breathing muscles. Now, this thing updates your breathing muscles. And now suddenly you always breathe the correct way using your belt. I had people who broke their running time the next day after they used it once. They go like, this is BS. I said, it's not, because they were breathing wrong. They were raising their shoulders. 4 to 6 of these breaths is the same as one belly breath. Think about that. If you see a slide of me, I just posted that on the private Facebook page that I have, Bas Rutten's O2 Bootcamp. Go to there. There's a video on there. For me, in 1996, I'm doing a fight, a world title fight. And I'm in the corner like this. And I won. I knocked him out afterwards. But I look at that video. I was a professional athlete and I didn't know how to breathe. If I would run out of gas, it was because I just simply couldn't catch up anymore. That right now is completely gone. I can go as hard as I can. I go like literally after the round. I go, this is so crazy. It is so insane by simply breathing the correct way. And now it's helping asthma, COPD, anxiety, PTSD, back problems. Who the hell knew that back problems? Because it aligns your back if you breathe the correct way. It massages your diaphragm, massages your intestines. All the things that it's doing right now is just bizarre. It's the gift that keeps on giving, I'm telling people.
Well, man, I got to tell you that, you said somebody said it's bullshit. It's so not bullshit. I am such a believer now. I'm on day 10 of my first 30-day program. I am watching the videos and reading the O2 site to make sure I'm doing it. It's not hard, though. It's very little work to watch the videos and understand what it is you have to do. And again, with 30% of lung, that's all I have in my body, because 70 were cut out. I told myself, admittedly, in negative self-speak for decades, you will never breathe right again. You will never have error or endurance again. And man, 10 days in, I feel 2 days in, I felt a real difference. Yep. 10 days in, I absolutely feel like I can breathe deeply again. I feel my condition improving because of it. And you're right, it's calming also. So it is.
Can I ask a question? Boss, yes. Is it an apparatus? Is it an apparatus that you're wearing, or is it just a methodology of it, and you're teaching how to breathe? What is it exactly?
No, it's an apparatus. So as Rick is going to get it, I guess, because otherwise I was going to run, and he's going to get the thing. It's just a device. It's a very simple thing, man. It's like there's two sides on. There's a mouthpiece you put in your mouth, and there's two openings. Right. And one opening has a flap. So if I breathe out, the flap opens up. if I breathe in, the flap closes, and it forces you to breathe to the other side. That other side comes with 14 different settings, from 1 millimeter to 2 to 3 to 4 till 15 millimeter. So gradually, slowly but surely, you can decrease the size and you start training. Listen, it's a workout. Like people go, like, it takes 4 minutes a day. People go, oh, that's easy, 4 minutes. You're going to feel this. I have people buying it now because they're getting abs. They had never good abs before, and now they're getting abs because it's a core workout. You're really going to feel this. And especially breathing exercise too, which is your back breathing muscle. People go like, back breathing muscles. Yeah, guess what? You never use those. I never use those. Once I start incorporating those, dude, I mean, my stamina is just bizarre. I would almost say it's better than I was fighting, and I train stamina once a week. I'm not lying. I swear I put a lie detector test. I will tell everything that I said. I will verify the lie detector test. It's just a really amazing thing.
So you're wearing it in your mouth. Rick, show me what it looks like when it's in your mouth.
It's really simple. This is the mechanism. You breathe
Right
here. These are
okay.
This is where you put the different attachment with the different millimeter sizes to make it.
So that makes it bigger or smaller.
Yeah.
That makes it bigger from here to there or something, right? Okay.
1 millimeter to 15.
Are you wearing it?
No, you just put it
Are
in
you
your
wearing
mouth
it
like
while
this.
you're doing?
Just like that.
You can do that, but I got in contact with the guy. Okay, so this is a really fast story. So they wrote a really bad review about my competition, and I knew that was bad because they control the air in with resistance and out with resistance. The problem with that is if you do it simultaneously, you cannot never completely exhale. You can never completely inhale because it's with resistance. So I knew the power to success was only the inhale, the inspiratory muscles. So slowly but surely, what you're doing is you start, let's say, with number 10. Okay, I'll give you an example. In 2018, I start doing it daily. 30 repetitions you need to do only. It took me 3 minutes and 45 seconds to complete 30 repetitions. So April last year, I made a video. And you can go back on my Facebook page. You can see the video from 2018 that I'm not lying. So I went from 3 minutes, 45 seconds. I went much stronger. I got better resistance. But then just for fun, in April last year, I said, you know what? I'm going to put that same hole on it and see what time I do it now. 55 seconds. So I went from 3 minutes 45 to 55 seconds. I had a 75% increase. 100% too. You can all check this because I post every single day. I might have missed 14 or 40 in 2.5 years. But for the rest, I got a habit, and I'll never break the habit, but it's doing just wonders for me. My whole core comes to the front now. I can literally feel the way my lungs work. It's a vacuum. If I breathe in, I literally feel the vacuum pulling open my lungs to the inside. I have such a good control. I went to Belisa Vranich, a world-renowned doctor. She measured my breathing at 182%. She's never seen anything like it.
I promise you, boss, I'm going to do it because I have pretty good breathing because of my program, but that puts a whole different twist on it. So I want you to hook me up with it, and I will put it out there, bro. Because I'm always looking for that next edge. That's going to help me hold back the hands of time. I'm going to be 65 in another 3 months. So I'm not thinking about, for the last 10 years, I've been telling everybody, I'm not preparing for 65 because I'll be here tomorrow. Now, it is here tomorrow in another 3 months. I've been preparing, though, for 75, 85, 95, and believe it or not, 105, because I'm throwing it out there. I'm not going to cut myself off, but I'm not going to be that guy who can't get around and can't lift my foot over my head and have a conversation with you. I'm going to be I walk the talk just like you do. So whenever I see something, that's especially something to do with the breath, I'm all over it, bro. So, hook me up with that, and I will definitely use it without question.
100%. You have the Wim Hof method, the Belisa Vranich, the breathing. All these people, they're buying it now because guess what? Your breathing becomes stronger. The Wim Hof method, all these breathing things, they cannot work out your breathing muscles. It's really good for you. Right. I'm not saying that. But imagine now you update your breathing muscles and then you do the Wim Hof breathing and then you do the Belisa Vranich breathing and then you do all that stuff. It increases everything. So that's why Belisa Vranich, she's a world-renowned doctor. She put it in her book. She put it in her freaking book. Use the O2 trainer. She's telling people right now. When she measured my chest and I knew what she was doing. She measured my chest expansion. First time she goes, do it again. She did again, and she says, wait. She walks out, comes out with another doctor, comes back with another doctor. She says, if I don't bring him, he's not going to believe it, because you just blew our record like sky high. Normally, the breathing expansion, they might break it by like 1/4 of an inch. You went over 2 inches. She said, I've never seen anything. So yeah, the only thing I do different is the O2 trainer. So
Yeah, you guys know, in the interest of complete transparency, I knew this would be a fun show just because you guys have such fun personalities. But I thought it would be really cool to have you both on together because, in my not so humble opinion, you both created things that are already helping hundreds of thousands, if not more, and ultimately will help, if there's any justice in this world, will ultimately help like tens of millions. And you're both great guys, and I'm such a believer like in collaboration, and even though each of you individually is so strong and so successful, I'm a big believer in the whole is greater than the sum of its parts. And I thought maybe if you guys were together talking about this, who knows what could result from it.
Well, look at the page, man. Look at what you did. I mean, making people walk again. Think about that. You know, you're talking about your cameos and people saying how great it is. And I do the cameos too. It's freaking awesome to read that. But to make a person walk again who couldn't walk or was on crutches before, I mean, that is life-changing, you know. And that's what you did. And not with one person, with like a lot of people.
It's right now we got if you know, Donnie, you're going to get on Amazon Prime, boss. Check out my new documentary we have out. It's called Relentless, and that pretty much it's a story from me blowing my back out 20 years ago, and having 3 spine specialists tell me I'm never going to wrestle again, and I just signed the big 3-year multi-million-dollar contract, and I never got paid before that. Ever. So now they're telling me if I don't go back in the ring, the contract, you know, in 6 months will be gone. Plus, I just got to the dance, you know, starting at 35, having my career blow up at 40, and then at 42, they tell me it was over. So that's where we start Relentless. And what's really cool is we literally have footage from 17 years back on this journey of me trying to not heal my own body, because DDPY put me back in the ring 3 months later, which is a combination of yoga, rehab, old school calisthenics, and dynamic resistance, which is just time under tension. So having a workout that literally put me back in the ring, I knew I was going to have to do the rest of my life. So we started documenting everything, never thinking it was going to be a documentary. We just were documenting it for just time, you know, making videos and stuff. And my crew put together this 20-year documentary that shows me blowing my back out to where it is today. And about 17 years ago, I decided to make it a business and try to make a living out of it. And I wrote a book called Yoga for Regular Guys. And from there, that gave us like a credibility factor. And then from there, we started our first DVDs and then our second, and built up for 9 years, well, really 8 years. We didn't make anything. Like I had $548,000 of my own money in the damn things. And it looked like it was never going to happen. But that disabled veteran you were talking about, I had worked with him in 2007. And my business partner, Steve Yu, just redid the video and gave it a little bit more music and a little more timing. And that was in 2012. And our company at that point was renamed DDP Yoga. It Ain't Your Mama's Yoga. And that's what me and you talked when I was on your show. And Arthur's video went viral. And in 1 month, we did $900,000. So I knew that affected people, that they were going to, you know, they believed in what they saw. And that was 8.5 years ago. And being on Shark Tank, the resurrection of Jake the Snake. Anybody's watching out there, if you're ever a fan of Jake Roberts, or if you just have addiction in your family, on Amazon Prime is our documentary, The Resurrection of Jake the Snake. And our newest one that came out 6 days ago, Relentless, is up there. And just Google Diamond Dallas Page, it'll come up. And if you watch the documentary, please leave a review, because that gets you on the front page of Amazon. So people who aren't really looking can come across the documentary. And we already have 224 reviews in 5 days.
Hey,
And
Paige,
they're
can
unbelievable.
I read
Unbelievable.
my review that I wrote of it to you? It's pretty short.
Sure, man. Sure.
So I watched it
Sure.
6 days ago, the night it debuted, and I want to say quickly, it wasn't long after I called you, because I've been doing DDPY on and off for years, and the only reason it's been off is my lack of, I guess, discipline, or my excuses that my spine was too shot to do it. And I called you, and you were good enough to take my call, and I asked you a question. I said, Dallas, I think my spine's going south again. I've started doing DDPY again for a few months now, and I love it, doing it up here at my home. But I'm wondering, is this something I should be doing or not be doing because of my back and my spine? And you said, by all means. You go, hell, man, it'll help you. And you know what? That turned a switch in my head, because I knew it'd been helping me. I don't know. I was probably feeling sorry for myself, which is why I even called in the first place. But man, DDPY has helped me so immeasurably. And I just love it. And I want to read the review that I wrote of Relentless. It's very short, again. And it just says this: is your physical fitness shut down during this pandemic? Or are you in too much pain to even try? That's me. Or I thought that was me. Are you just stuck in life and could use some honest to God motivation to jumpstart everything? Then watch Diamond Dallas Page's Relentless now on Amazon Prime. It's the best hour and 3 minutes I've spent all year. And dude, it's the truth. So thank you for DDPY, and thank you for Relentless, man. It's absolutely inspiring.
I need to know one thing. Do you watch it before the 31st, or did you watch it after?
I watched it before the 31st.
Good. That's good.
The best of all year was the entire year. Yes.
Good. I love it. Yeah, man. Changing lives, brother. I love it.
So I just got a note from Rachel, one of our two amazing producers, saying they've been sending us questions and comments, but we're ignoring them. Oh my gosh. We have a lot of people watching this, you guys. I haven't looked until now, but yeah, there's a lot. Do you mind if I throw you guys a couple of things real quickly?
Go for it. Yeah, sure.
Tennessee Tim says he's been sober for 8 days. He's asking if he can get a bang to keep him motivated.
Well, I've gotten a lot of great, feedback from guys with PTSD, because of Jake, and because, I helped him, get off of booze and coke and crack. I think any kind of exercise is great. I mean, any kind of exercise is great because it de-stresses you. The deal with my program, if you go to ddpy.com, you can pull up the app that we have there. It's 7 days for free. It costs you nothing to try it. Got motivational Mondays every Monday. Got fabulous Facebook Fridays every Friday. All of it is geared around inspiring you to believe in yourself 100%. Every week there's another workout. Our workouts start in bed. So you can't tell me you can't do it. Mm-hmm. Like, they're called bed flex. They get you ready to sit in a chair force. They get you ready to hold on to a chair, stand strong, and then you go to beginner all the way to crazy psycho extreme shit. And I just don't tell you what to eat. I cook it for you. And I might do it with my daughters or my girlfriend, or one of my favorite chefs. And we cook healthy food that tastes fucking amazing. So go there and try it, bro. Cost you nothing. to try, go to DDPY.com and give it a shot. That's how I look at it.
Killer. That's awesome. Thank you. And can Tennessee Tim get that bang?
Bang!
There you go.
love it.
Thank you. Thank you. These are just a couple of comments. I thought I'd read them because they're nice. This is a breath of fresh air. Great vibes for 2021 legends, forever young and strong. Absolutely.
Absolutely.
You gotta love stuff like that. Okay. Dallas, here's another one for you. Can DDP, I already know the answer to this, but I'm going to throw it to you. Can DDPY yoga help someone that drives over the road, semis and heavy equipment?
When you get off the road,
Right.
I have little one or two things like, if you're into all the time, your back, everything is not, we're not meant to be like that. We're meant to be like this. And all my shit is all about opening up the whole body. Pull over to the side of the road, diamond, bent-legged barbacks and catchers, we're tired. And then when you're going, get out there and do turbo. And possibly the first one to agree with me on this. If you don't stay mobile, you're fucked. You got to keep being mobile, or you're just going to get. I know friends of mine who can't lift their arms fast here anymore because they just stopped.
Yep.
They should be here. They got to keep moving, break up the scar tissue, and you got to eat real food, not shit.
Yeah, but
Thank you for that.
also
That's
the thing
always
is
a good
also,
reminder. Always.
this guy, if he's driving semis and he's in his truck the whole day long, for him, if I don't work out, I can memorize. My memorization is down. Everything is down. It immediately can. If I memorize something every day, so I take a paragraph from whatever it is and I memorize that. That's the thing that I do to keep my mind fit. And sometimes when I go hike up the hill, I'm trying to hike the hill and it's not really working. And once I'm up the hill and it's a really strong hike and I go down, now I had that workout. I mean, it's in 5 minutes. It's in my head. I mean, that's the difference. So a person like that who needs focus on the road because of the big semi, you can make some crazy accidents. He for real has to do the DDP yoga, because it's that will keep his mind sharper, which makes it safer, and so he comes home again to his family.
Right, that's huge.
Guys, the Guardian of Chaos is saying much respect to Boss and DDP. Thanks, Rick. You're welcome. And he's saying, Boss, loved you, and here comes the boom. I saw that, and I thought you're like yourself, Dallas. You guys, you're really natural actors, both of you. Boss, anything coming up, or is that just not in your sights right now? The acting world.
I was going to come up to do a number 2 of a movie that the first one did really well, and that was going to be a badass part for me. And then COVID hit. It was supposed to do March last year. So COVID hit. So hopefully, it's postponed simply because they will make a second one, and because the first one did very well. And I cannot say which one it is, but once that happens, I would love to, because then I did a comedy, a big one, and hopefully this is a good part as well in a badass movie.
And Rick, you remember a couple of years ago when I started filming that series Guardians of Justice.
Absolutely.
And it's got picked up by Netflix. It got picked up by Netflix, and I'm thinking probably they say spring, but I think it's going to be closer to summer 2021. That'll be out. It's a very dark superhero series that it's never been anything like it, man. Like the fight scenes are like playing video games in 1987. You've never seen anything like it for real, for any kind of action fighting. And it becomes like a graphic novel and then becomes live and then back to a cartoon I can't even explain it because there's so much going on, but the Adi Shankar is a fucking genius. And he took something that was just could have been ordinary and has made it super special. And I think people are gonna be really surprised when they see it.
Freaking awesome, man. What's the name?
God, the Guardians of Justice.
Guardian.
Yeah, I'm looking
Guardians
forward
of
to
Justice.
Now, you guys both have so much going on in your lives right now. Is it even possible for each of you to like identify what your greatest professional goal in life is?
Oh, yeah. So I did a season of Kevin Can Wait, the comedy, the sitcom, with Kevin James, and
Oh, I love that.
that was I think that could have been the best job I've ever had. I mean, because you're laughing all day long, it's comedy, you're reading the script, it starts with the script, you're already dying when you read the script. And then you realize that every single thing they say, that's why you can watch those over and over again, because every time you recognize it, oh, that's a joke, that was a joke, because pretty much everything is a joke. And, so the amount of times that you break character because you can't stop laughing. And it is so much fun to do a show like that. Plus the sitcom, the hours are really not like you have my buddy from Mindhunter, Holt McCallany. He's the lead actor on that show on Netflix, Mindhunter. And he's 16-hour days, 6 days a week. And he looks at me and he was talking about it. It's 4 o'clock. He's in the makeup chair and he's talking about this whole thing. And then at the end, he says, how is yours? I said, oof, yeah, hard too, man. I said, okay, so what's your Monday? I said, Monday. Oh, Monday we have a table read. And he goes, and then what? I said, then we go home. And he goes, oh, how long does it take? 30 minutes. Okay, Tuesday. I said, that's like a full 2 hours, 2.5 hours of work, blocking. And are you serious? I go, I'm telling you, because you're playing it for an audience as well. So every time a joke doesn't work, they change the dialogue. So that's the one thing you have to constantly be updated, because don't stick with a certain thing because they constantly switch it. And then to do it on Fridays in the evening in front of a live audience, like 500 people are there, dude, it felt like I was fighting again. Like you have that little nerve, feel great, and then you have instant reaction. If you crack a joke, people freaking dying. It's a really good feeling. I said that could be one of the best jobs I ever had.
Oh, that's awesome, man. I've been to those shows, but I've never been in one. That's super cool. I would love to try that. It's like dealing with a live audience, that's, as you know, there's no better adrenaline than that.
Yep. That really
That's
is.
That's why I can't believe some of these kids today in WWE and AEW and like not being in front of people. Oh my God. UFC guys. I mean, the people take away so much of the pain, right? I mean, with the adrenaline, and you're still going to have adrenaline no matter what, especially in a fight, especially UFC. But those people, especially when it comes to professional wrestling, I'm looking for them to react to what I'm doing out there. I was so glad. I wrestled last year at this time. Actually, I think it was middle of January, and I came back for one match, and it was so much fun. And it's at the end of Relentless. And the funny thing about the documentary Relentless was that we were done like last August. And September, October, November, December, I'm like, why haven't we got this out there? Because we were so busy, we kept getting sidetracked. And I'm like, we got to get Relentless out there. And we just didn't. And then it came time to do that match with AEW. And the next morning when I woke up, I looked at my girl Paige and I said, I know why we haven't released Relentless. And she goes, why? Why? You've been wanting to get that out for months. I go, because this has to be in it. Like this moment, me being 63, almost 64 years old, out there doing it and, jumping off the top rope, the whole deal, like it's got to be in there because it proves everything I'm talking about. So, that whole live thing is super cool.
Right. And then taking the live out of the equation for a moment, which I know is got to be the greatest rush. Talking about how you guys inspire people personally and one-to-one, if you will. Here's a comment from my Facebook. Boss, you are a badass, awesome guy and an inspiration. DDP, I can walk. Thank you. And I mean, think about that for a second.
Yeah.
And then you've got another one, Dallas, that says 5 years sober thanks to DDP. Man, I know you guys can go out in front of audiences. You've done that and moved thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands at a time. But do you guys ever sit back? And I'm not asking you to put yourselves over or brag, 'cause I know you guys don't do that. But do you ever sit back for a moment and take credit for the fact that you actually change individual lives? What does that feel like?
You go.
I mean, I try not to take it too seriously, and I really don't, because I'm just blessed that, you know, I've been able to connect with people, and I keep going back to it. Like Relentless is like that shows the best of what I've been able to do. And the two things I'm the most proud of is the resurrection of Jake the Snake, because of everything that happened in that doc, and then Relentless, because those are a combination of everything that I did that really meant anything. And that's going to be, I think, the legacy that I'm going to leave behind. You know, it's that, you know, I think I'm really selfish, to be perfectly honest, because helping people, and I know Boss and I know Rick, you understand this, friggin' helping people makes you feel so good about you.
Yep.
And that's the whole thing. Most people, they don't understand that. Like, no, trust me. Even go down to the old Boy Scout walking the old lady across the street. You know, it's like, it's so much deeper than that. I reach out to people all the time that are doing my program. There's this face called on Facebook. It's just DDP Yoga, one word. And it started with one person. It was a members site. Then there was 5. Then there was 10. Now there's 55,000 people. They all help each other.
Yep. The
We
community, man.
We just started the $1 million Positively Unstoppable. That's what this book is. I put this out last year, 2 years ago, and the art of owning it. We started the Positively Unstoppable $1 Million Challenge. Anyone can go right now, go to positivelyunstoppable.com and sign up for a chance to win $1 million. Now, what's guaranteed? Third place, 5,000. Second place, 10,000. First place, a chance to win 1 million. And there's 100 books there. You pick the one that's got $1 million, you win $1 million. The least amount of money you win, 25,000. This year, we just finished bringing everybody and putting it all out at Christmas time, who the winners were. I couldn't pick 3 people, because these people that came and joined this contest, there was tens of thousands of them. We got it down to 10, and then we got it down to 4. I couldn't make it 3. So third place, my business partner, Steve, goes, are you going to split it in half? I go, no. We're going to give them both 5,000. So we gave both the third place people 5,000. Second place, 10,000. Like I said, first place, guaranteed 25,000. Here's how we judge it. Physical transformation from January till October 31st, 6 months. Pick your 6 months and document it all. Like, it's got to be like really documented. So every one of those 4 people over their 6 month period had a ridiculous transformation. So now we're going for this. We're going for mental transformation, owning it, the 6-inch piece of real estate between your ears. What is the story you tell yourself? How have you changed from here to here? All 4 of them had unbelievable transformations. So we go to documentation. And the 2 guys, they took their pictures, they took their measurements, little bit of footage. They ended up in third place. A girl named, and they were Scotty Jorgensen, who we also called Boots, Justin Dobbins, and listen to this. 23 months ago, Justin was 6'7", 698 pounds. This video is up on our site. In 1 year, on his own, walking and dieting, like we're doing, like eating really clean food, he lost 170 pounds and walking. That's what he was doing. But his body's so beat up, he couldn't be walking anymore. It was hurting him too bad. So he started our program. In the next, it would be total of 23 months, Justin lost 401 pounds in 23 months. Now, over the 6-month period with us, he lost, I think, 82 pounds in that 6 period. But like I said, he wasn't in it to win it. He was there to motivate people. Not any of these 4 people got in it for the money. They got in it to friggin' be accountable, to help each other, and none of them thought they were finalists. None of them. But Scotty and Justin were both 3rd place finalists. Caitlin Kay, she was in the contest the year before. She lost 30 pounds. This year, in that 6-month period, she lost 72 pounds. Looks amazing. She documented so much of her stuff, but the only girl who beat her, it was by very little, was a girl named Candy Heron. Candy McCarthy Heron. And this girl started the contest on April 31st. So the last 6 months, not thinking she was going to win anything. Over that 6 months period, she not only documented just about everything, and I'm talking about her workouts, putting one position next to another, and how she couldn't do this, and then boom, how she could do that. You know, like one of her things was like she can't hold her foot up. She can't hold it right here. And then all of a sudden, she's got her foot. And then she's got her foot. Damn. Can't even hold up. Sneakers are too tight. And then all of a sudden, she can hold her foot overhead and balance herself. So she documented everything. And she ended up being our winner. But all 4 of them came in.
I want to say, listening to this, and you've already got to what I was thinking about immediately, and it was this. Almost like, forget the prize money. I mean, it's great to make $1 million. Nothing wrong with that. But forget the prize money. Just think about anybody doing this, the benefits they're gonna get from it. So whoever coming in late or not paying attention, where exactly do they go to get the best representation of what you're discussing? What's the URL?
The two things I would say, you want to try a program, ddpy.com, and sign up, get the app. And again, 7 days for free. If you want to join that contest, positivelyunstoppable.com. You can join everything, all the information. At both places.
And thank you. And by the way, viewers, listeners, the URLs are running across the screen the entire show. You can see where to go for more on Dallas Page, where to go for more on Boss Rutan. You guys have been huge contributors to my life, and so many. I've kept you over an hour already, but a couple more things I wanted to jump around to real quickly. Do you guys have a couple more minutes?
Yes.
I only got a couple because my old lady's young.
Okay, here we go.
Come go eat.
I want to do a call out here. I don't know for sure, but I'm guessing that my good friend Butterbean is probably watching this tonight. Now, truly one of my best friends on this planet, one of the best human beings I've ever known. Butterbean, just of his own invention, has lost 100 pounds over the past few months. He wants to lose
Good
more
for him.
and get back in shape. Can Dallas Page and Boss Rutan team up and pummel Butterbean back into shape? I would love to see that, man. It'd be an amazing story too.
Well, Well, we're going to get him an auto trainer for sure. So he's got. I know he's got abs. We talked to him last week. He starts feeling abs there. Yeah, no, I love that guy. I spent some time with him in Prince George. I remember that in Canada. But he's one funny man. So yeah, for sure, I would love to.
And Dallas,
just hook it up, Rick.
Better being like your next Arthur. I can really see that. The guy is such a stud. It's all in there. Just a little push in the right direction, and I know he's going to be like a shining example.
Well, like I said, hook it up, Rick. Hook it up, boss. I really want to get hooked up with your oxygen thing. I really want that. So let's do me a favor. I'll get your number from Rick. Okay, and I'll give you a call tomorrow, and you can hook me up, right? And anything you need before I'm there, Rick. I gotta go, bro. My old lady's yelling at me. Great to see you guys. Appreciate everything. See ya. Bye.
Dallas Page, thank you, man, for being on. And boss, man, thank you. You've been such a huge inspiration to me and to so many. And as always, I'm glad we're back in touch on such a regular basis. It's a privilege and a blessing both. Thank you for that, for being a good friend. And man, I am looking forward to what you do in the next, seeing what you do in the next 5 and 10 and 30 years, however long it may be. So,
well, yeah, if you look at the page, I mean, freaking 63 years old, he looks freaking awesome, right? I mean, and the way he just pulled his leg up, whatever, you know. So I love seeing that kind of stuff because you know that he not only sells a program, he's doing it himself every day because he believes in it. And I think that's also because to come back to something they say, how would you know? I say, well, I believed in it so much since when it cured my mastermind, the auto trainer. You know, I'm all in because I know what it can do. You know, and once you have that, if you understand that it can change lives. You want everybody to know, and it took a long time, and it's the same with him. I think I'm like $450,000 down with all the patents and the continuation patents and the worldwide this and that. And I'm so happy that I patented it now because of all the success it has. You see, but there was a moment in time that I go like, maybe I'm gonna have to hang it up, you know, because but man, it's so good. But why don't people not see it? Yeah, because it looks stupid. It's like a little thing. But then suddenly it's part. And that's the same with Dallas. It happens the same thing.
This thing is a blessing, man. It really is a blessing. And I want to make sure we're clear on this. If they're going to go look you up, is it, because I want to split hairs, is it a 02 or 02?
Yeah, I saw that you wrote 02. But you know what? I'm a guy who understands things. And I know that people will do 02. So I have 02.com. I also took that URL, that website. So I transported to O2 as well.
That's great. that is really great. Man, as always, boss, it's a blessing. Thank you so much. Before you disconnect, I want to let the viewers out there know that the amazing producer, John Paz, is coming on next with the Hannibal himself, Devin Hannibal Nicholson. We're going to talk a little bit more about what we've discussed today. Boss, my man, thank you so much.
You're very welcome, Rick. That was fun. It was good to see Dallas again. He's a good guy. I always really enjoy hanging out with him because, like you said, he's always positive, and I like people like that. Like my friends, you won't never see a person who's down because they won't survive in our group. Most of the time, actually, when they are,
we're trying to wrap up. But I want to ask one more small favor, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah.
A friend logged on recently. His name is Brian Jack, and it's interesting. He's like the real life Billy Jack or the real life Rambo. This guy has been through the shit. He is living up in the woods. He had a major surgery today, and I know he wanted to watch this, and he just logged on saying, out of anesthesia, I'm watching this. So this is Brian Jack. He's on right now. He wanted to say hello to you. If you can say hello to Brian Jack, that'd be awesome.
Brian, man, now it's the recouping is coming. You just came out of surgery. Now it's keeping your head straight. I always tell people, you know, now it's time to live clean until you are your rehab. A lot of people get because they get bored at home, they start drinking, and then guess what? Once your liver starts working a lot, you know, healing the body just goes on the second. Instead of the number one priority becomes the second priority. So if you live super clean and good food, you know, a lot of greens, you recoup like a maniac. And that together, of course, with really relaxed workout, like a DDP yoga, actually, because it's not too invasive. I believe it can do wonders for you.
Boss, thank you so much, man.
Right on. And kick
See you
ass, bro.
soon.
Oes.